What's up, guys? So today I'm out of breath because Renee and I went bulk shopping. So went and bought a bunch of meat, bunch of chicken, and a bunch of rice. So that we have a restaurant wholesaler here that I can use with my tax ID, and we can stock up on a few things. So I'll take y'all through it. One being rice. So my main thing I use a lot is this Thai jasmine rice. And we probably save about 30% cost doing it this way. And this is a 50-pound bag, which last time I got it, I think it lasted us for about, I want to say it was about 5 months. So it's worth the cost saving. And so we bought 160 pounds of chicken. It's really just kind of depends how much I can fit in my deep freezer. So it is quite full right now, but this 160 pounds, we did the math on the way home. And between Renee and I both, like we'll eat, it was 34 ounces of cooked chicken per day between us. And so you assume maybe 20% water loss during cooking. So divide that 24 ounces by 80%, and we get about, the 34 ounces by 80%, we get around 46 ounces of actually cooked, of raw chicken that we need per day, 2.6 pounds-ish. And so we figured 160 pounds should last us right at 2 months. So we're eating like 80 pounds of chicken per month, which is quite a bit. So going to the restaurant store, we save quite a bit of money because 160 pounds. These run for like $1.70 per pound, which at our normal grocery store it's usually about $2.70 per pound. So we're saving like $80 a month doing it that way. And we get these black label chickens, which I'll let y'all check them out. Which there are some cheaper ones over there, like $1.30 a pound. But they just come in one big box and you have to pack them up yourself. Get some light. So these already come in pre-measured out 10-pound bags, so it's really easy to throw one in the freezer, pull it out, and this perfectly fits into my Instapot. So it's not another plug for Instapot, but it works out really, really well. As far as quality and natural chicken, all that. For one, in all chicken, no one uses growth hormone. It's not even allowed. They can use it in cattle, I believe, still, but not in chicken. So you'll always see like no hormones added in all the chicken across the board. So that's something you just don't need to worry about. One thing I do concern myself with is picking the percentage of sodium that they're using. Because you'll see like this one say may contain up to 2% retained water. So 2% is pretty low. Sometimes you'll see like a 15% sodium chloride solution and the breasts look huge. It's like this gigantic chicken breast, and you'll lose a lot of that in water. So the weight that you're paying for is a blown up breast full of water that you're gonna lose. So there's not a lot of value there that's like the cheaper ones they sell. They're like that. So this one's a very minimal amount of sodium added to keep some water retention in them. So I'll try to fit all these in the freezer. All right, so the freezer is in a really awkward spot in our new house. It's like nearly in our living room, which we haven't quite figured that out yet, but I did get a deal on some salmon, which I won't buy it a lot, but I got a hookup on it, and I got 40 pounds of wild Alaskan sockeye salmon, which I'll use and alternate between this and beef, or if I'm doing like my higher fat day, I'll use beef and salmon on those days. And I've really tried to weigh out using wild versus just farm raised Atlantic salmon, and trying to look at the nutrition differences and For those who don't know, like sockeye, like the wild salmon is like half the fat content. So like for 6 ounces, it's 10 grams of fat. For your Atlantic salmon, it's 20 grams of fat, which in turn makes them higher in omega-3 just because they're higher in fat. So kind of depends what your macronutrients allow. I'll buy the Atlantic salmon just for the higher fat content, and you're still getting omega-3. Kind of really weighing out if really harping on wild caught being that much healthier really is that gives that much more health benefit within context to your whole diet. But I got such a deal on them, so I'm stocked up on salmon. So I got like 40 pounds in here. And then we got random stuff. Like my dad caught a fish. He lives down in Rockport, so this has been here forever. I got skin and stuff. Just haven't even messed with a little bit of Alexia fries. Use them every now and then in the off season, but in general, I stick mainly to rice. Hence my 50-pound bag of rice that I bought. And then there's at the very bottom of this freezer is stuff that's been like untouched for years. Because I bought a quarter hind of a cow, which I got all these like top round cut and sirloin steaks and ground out of it. But then it came with all these really weird pieces that I just have no idea how to cook. And I just don't feel like cooking either. I think I got, what is it on top here? Some beef. I still have some of the beef cutlets from it. I can't remember what it was. Came with like some different bones it came with, and yeah, stuff I just normally wouldn't eat in my diet. But buying it that way, I think I got like 80 pounds of grass-fed beef that way, and it came out to about $6.50 a pound, which was a really good deal. So I put up all the frozen meat. So in the fridge, some of the other meats I'm using this off season are just ground beef. And I'll do it like once a day, and on my fat days, once or twice. Just depends. Like I told you earlier, I rotate between salmon and beef. And beef, like I said, I've done some grass-fed beef. You have to really weigh out, cost versus health benefit if you want to do that. But a lot of times, just out of convenience, I'll just grab the 93.7 beef, and I feel like it's lean enough, but also not so fatty. It's more of a taste preference too. With some of the grass-fed beef, you get a lot of these farmers, they're not actually testing how lean it's coming out from the butcher. So I have ordered some from like the farmer that I had got some from, and just off it was probably like 85-15 just off taste. It wasn't that lean. I think from a health aspect, with everything else in place and me eating beef like once a week and saving the cost and doing grass-fed beef, I don't think it's a huge impact. It's hard to really weigh that out, and see the long-term health benefits of continuing doing like grass-fed beef. But I just rotate between it. It's just like what I have access to that week. If I'm able to get some grass-fed beef, I will. If not, I'm okay using just stuff from the grocery store. other things we got in here. One thing that I don't do it very often, but other protein sources that you might not think to use in the off season, but definitely are acceptable, are shrimp. I mean, they're really low in fat. For 4 ounces of frozen, it's 1 gram of fat, 18 grams of protein. It's just, with shrimp, just cholesterol is a little higher. It's 165 milligrams for the 4 ounces. And then also like scallops. Sorry if you're allergic to shellfish, both these would be off the menu for you, but for 3 ounces, a shellfish is 18 grams of protein. So, and it's pretty low in carbohydrate, like 3 grams of carbs, and really low in fat too. So, like Renee and I, we make like skewers, shrimp and scallop skewers, and barbecue them on the grill. But not something we do very often, but it's still like an option to have some flexibility in the off season and try some different protein sources. So I think that's an important thing. Just whether you're in prep or you're in off season, is having a variety of protein sources that have different nutrient content, micronutrients, and also amino acid content as well. Since we're on protein sources, my last protein source I use, and I've talked about these before, are eggs, but pasture raised. And as far as fat goes, like these chickens are able to truly roam in the pasture and eat worms and just the natural diet, to where it actually would change the fat content and have them have higher amounts of CLA. And you'll see like that darker orange yolk, which would be higher in beta carotene. So if you're buying like cage free, it's usually they just don't have to be in a cage, so their diet might not be any different. And also like the brown chicken eggs, it's just the type of hen that's laying it. It's not necessarily any difference in nutrient profile. That's just what the color comes down to, is the breed of hen that's laying it. But that rounds out just like for my protein options. I mean, I do have like a yogurt that we'll use just occasionally. Honestly, it's probably more of a topping in place of sour cream for what we use it for. That rounds out my whole protein tour of how I do things. Cooking wise, I think I can take y'all through a whole nother video just on how I cook these meats and how I prep them and package them and do them that way. But for shopping purposes, that's it for the day, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Any questions, leave them in the description below. Be happy to answer the guys. Make sure you check out my blog and my website for coaching services, and for me just putting up my updates on how my off seasons continue to go. See you guys next time.